evening, Chris Carson, CBO, and Matt Catanzari, White Hill Principal. And I'll be presenting this board meeting's school reopening. Let me switch. So starting, and I'm doing my best here to step into Marcy's shoes and go over her notes that she had wanted to present this evening and is of course unable to do so. But with regards to health and safety updates, as I'm sure all of us know, the stay-at-home order has been extended indefinitely and likely will remain in place until we reverse the trend across the region. One of the things we are looking for is the ICU capacity needs to meet or exceed 15%, and we are not there right now. Additionally, there is a new travel advisory that is asking all of us to avoid non-essential travel that is more than 120 miles away. And just generally, we need to all continue doing our part to reopen our community by sticking to the stay-at-home order and preventing new infections. We remain in tier 1, the purple tier, and in order to move into that red tier that we would like to be in, we need to bring our case rates down to no more than 7 new cases daily per 100,000 people. So we wait anxiously and maybe patiently for that to happen. There are some new COVID-19 testing options across the county. And this slide deck is available to the public within the board docs and has live links, but the Curative is the company that's providing these free testing to all in Marin County, and they have a different site every day of the week, at least during business days. And then, of course, lots of talk around the vaccine. We are right now in what they call phase 1A, where our healthcare workers are being vaccinated. And Ross Valley School District school nurses have been vaccinated within that phase 1A. 1B is when our educators will be vaccinated, and our understanding is that all of those who work with children, employees who physically work on a site with students, will all, not only teachers, have the opportunity to be vaccinated. And we are also learning that vaccines are not recommended for persons under 16. There have been questions about, will children be vaccinated? So that is the update on health and safety. Any questions before I move on? All righty. So we have a new section in our COVID-19 portion of our website, and it is our Ross Valley School District COVID-19 Exposure and Positive Case Dashboard. And the purpose of this is really to inform our public and our community about what we are seeing within our schools. And we've reported to the board previously that we work with these different scenarios. So scenario 1, which you don't see listed here, is just someone has a symptom. And of course that happens fairly frequently, that someone has a headache or someone has a temperature. And those are scenarios in which we follow the appropriate protocols, but we aren't necessarily collecting that data. But you can see here the data that we have across the district for scenario 2. Scenario 2 is when a student or staff member in close contact with a family member or someone who tests positive for COVID-19. And these are this date here that you see for Brookside, December 12th, represents one incident of scenario 2. And the reason that there's a 2 in parentheses here next to December 16th is because there were 2 incidents reported. This table is also read horizontally. Right now, where you see this case on the 25th, it's on a different line to show that it is not related to this November 25th case here. A little bit tricky to read there. But our Ross Valley dashboard provides information about exposures and positive cases and going through these different scenarios. And this is information we are voluntarily providing our community. We want to keep them informed, and we're committed to reporting all positive cases that affect cohorts during infectious periods. I believe that since the beginning of opening, at the very beginning of the year, we have had 5 cohort closures across our sites. And I'm just seeing if there's anything else in my notes here. Cases are all self-reported, and please, we just want to continue encouraging our community to make sure that they are reporting to their school site as soon as they have any knowledge of a case. All right. And Chris Carson is going to lead us through this slide.
Thank you. This evening, I'd like to talk about the proposed COVID funds. This last week, Governor Newsom put out his proposed budget for next year, but within it, he also proposed some additional funds in the current year with one-time dollars that have come through the state budget. And the funds are supposed to be used by schools in transitional kindergarten through 6th grade to open back up to in-person learning. What they're finding is that a number of districts around the state have not opened up school for even the neediest children, such as special education and English language learners, students in poverty, et cetera. And so the purpose of these funds is to get districts to do that. I also want to point out that the Ross Valley School District has been open for some time for all of those students in grades TK through 6th grade. And when looking at the proposed language, what he wants to do is provide $450 per student as a base for getting students in TK through 2nd back in school by February 16th and by March 15th, the 3rd through 6th grade students. And there's additional dollars for high need students. The funds are to be used for things such as COVID testing, indoor air quality, outdoor learning spaces, social emotional needs. And in terms of the actual requirements, what the governor has proposed is to ensure that all district COVID school safety plans have aligned to the Department of Public Health safety plans, and the Ross Valley School District's plans have done that. The other thing that is really important to note is that the governor wants to ensure that districts implement staff and student testing, COVID testing throughout the district. And one last thing I want to put out there for everybody is that the 5 largest districts in the state have already begun to push back on this. So look for this to come out and actually be funded, but it will be in some other form more than likely when you have those 5 districts pushing. But we should have additional funds coming forward.
Thank you, Chris. Any questions for Chris? All righty. This is really a celebration slide. We're super, super excited that next week on January 19th, we will be at a point where all of our students from transitional kindergarten all the way up through 8th grade have opportunity to be a part of in-person instruction on our campuses. So as I think Eric has shared repeatedly in the past, October 5th, a very long time ago, is when we began our in-person instruction for our preschool through 8th grade special day classes. Those classes are housed at Brookside and White Hill. And then on October 28th, our 6th grade entered into its hybrid model, an A-B model. And so our students in 6th grade have been attending school 2 days a week ever since October 28th. November 3rd, our TK through 5th grades began their hybrid model. November 10th, we began our 7th and 8th grade learning hubs. And again, January 19th, TK through 8th grade, and including our special education, special day classes, we will all be open for business in in-person instruction, for in-person instruction. And we're super excited about that and deeply, deeply appreciative of the efforts of all of our staff, our teachers, our administrators, our school principals, our classified staff, and of course, all of our families who have shown tremendous support for this really unusual and unprecedented undertaking. But it feels really good. And I look forward to seeing White Hill in action next week. All righty. As we reported in the two previous schools reopening updates, what you can see here, we are in phase 3 and we are looking to move into phase 3.1 and expanding our model. We've talked about extending our day into the afternoon. And we are still looking at trying to fill vacant positions, and particularly classified positions that provide supervision for students, so that students can go out and have their breaks, but also so that teachers can have a break. If we're going to be extending the school day past 1 o'clock, we need our teachers to be able to have a break. So we are still working on this, and also hopeful that the county tier assignment will become a little bit less purple in the future to make things easier as well. And I will turn it over to Matt Catanzari, who will give us an update for White Hill.
Hi again, thanks for having me. I was not prepared to have my camera on, and I've been presenting at the last several meetings, so I apologize. I have my White Hill gear on now. So yes, Tuesday we begin our hybrid for 7th and 8th grade. We are really, really excited, working on those last minute touches to make sure we're ready to roll. Our teachers have been really preparing hard for the 3x3 model. We're only seeing classes 2, 4, and 7. Half of our students are seeing their 0 period starting next week. So it takes a lot of curriculum planning and redevelopment. So our teachers have been working hard in doing that. Our teachers are granted 3 release days to plan for the hybrid model, and we started doing those with some asynchronous learning for our students by department. So that's how we tackled that, as a way for students not to have the entire day of asynchronous learning, but only a period here or there. So that's where our teachers are. We are working on, Ms. Lubomirsky made an amazing orientation video that our teachers saw yesterday. Our students are going to see tomorrow during their advisory class. And we're also going to share that out to all the parents, because there is some important information about the parent pickup and drop off that we need to share. And also in that orientation video that's going out tomorrow, important information about our safety protocols, arrivals and dismissals, class change information, and things like that. So we're getting really, really excited. Tomorrow marks the 10-month anniversary of the last time our 7th and 8th graders were on campus at White Hill. So it's been a long time coming, and we are ready for the next phase to get these students on campus. Our Bell system is going to be working. We're testing it out tomorrow. So the teachers, our students will get a feel for that in their Zooms, so they can hear those things over the loudspeaker while they're Zooming tomorrow. And it's going to feel kind of like home again. So we are really, really looking forward to welcoming the students that choose to be there back to campus.
Thank you, Matt. All right, and that concludes our school reopening update for this evening. I'm going to stop my share so that board members can turn on their videos if they would like to discuss any portion of that presentation.
I want to just lend a huge note of appreciation for the lift and the effort and the patience and compassion and heart and effort that is gone into these last 10 months, culminating in this January, of all of the students having some in-person time back on campuses. Just an immense amount of appreciation for everything that goes into this, from the health and safety issues all the way to rethinking the curriculum, to be able to provide for small cohorts at safe distances, and everything that's gone into that. So just huge appreciation for that. Do any of my colleagues have any other questions with respect to this?
I would echo the thanks for all the hard work. I've got a 6th grader who loves going to school, and you know, in the olden days, you know, might get a groan when you hear it's time to get ready to go to school, and I don't get that groan. and I think it's absolutely delightful. And so thank you. I wanted to echo Shelley's comment of thanks.
I like this is Ryan, the addition of the olden days, Wes. Well played on that. But the truth is that it's really everyone. It's really everybody involved the whole way down. And I know that people say, oh, they're just thanking their own people. Yes, we are thanking our own people, and nobody should be left behind. And I know it's a tremendous amount of work. Like Wes, I also have a 6th grader who came home last week and said, you know, we took our masks off to eat lunch on these little dots that were 7 feet apart, but we all looked around and said, wow, this is really cool. It felt like real school, she said. And that was, to me, the real indicator that the hard work is getting all the way to the kid. The kid's not supposed to be intimidated by this process. They're supposed to feel like it's normal. And I think we've done a great job of giving them the avenues to make school feel normal, even though we know it's not normal yet.
Yeah, and I would add to that, Marie, here, that my daughter in 7th grade has not been on campus for 10 months. And we are very emotional here and very thankful for her to go. And I cannot thank enough for the certificated and classified staff, everybody, absolutely everybody at the district who has been working, you know, like tremendous hours for the last 10 months to make that happen. The dream come true, really. Thank you.
And I know in the past that the district, there was in the very beginning a lot of pictures that were shared. There was like a scrapbook picture of the first day. And I think sharing these orientation videos or continuing that storytelling, not just for the parents, but also for the public, as well as for our colleagues in other schools and other districts, would be a great addition to our wider community in Fairfax and San Anselmo and beyond. So if there's any way of sharing that orientation video beyond just a parent email or something like that, I would love to work with district staff to be able to make that happen.
I also wanted to note, thank you for the COVID dashboard. That's really helpful just to know by school what's going on. And it's so few that I'm so surprised with the number of people and the number of positivity cases in our county, that it is so low considering how many children are in classrooms. So I think that is a testament to how well the COVID planning in the classroom has been done. And I just, thank you. I send both my kids, one at White Hill and one in elementary school, and I feel safe having them there on the classrooms. So thank you.
Absolutely. And I can't remember if I said or not, but I think it's so important to recognize that we've had no on-site transmission of COVID within our schools, whether it's student to student, student to staff, staff to student, staff to staff. None of it has occurred in the Ross Valley School District. And we've been back. So that's really, really good news as well.
Let's keep it this way.
Well, we look forward to continuing updates, and you've done also a great job of keeping the public informed. And for anyone who's out there watching or listening to this, you can go back over the board docs and review any other presentations that have been made on this. And there will be continuing presentations. So if you missed anything in the past and you want to learn a little bit more about all the efforts that have been made and the way that this has been developed, it's all been wonderfully documented with videos and presentations and documents. So that's there for us all to continue to look at, and we will continue to do this going forward. Right. So if there aren't any other questions or comments on this, we can move on to the school calendar.